Hello, good morning. Corrie here, coming in to do a check-in and just waiting to see who we have here and if we have anyone. I am broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube, I do believe. So just wanted to do a quick check-in, a little chat about what's coming, what we have happening, and a little bit of reasoning with where I have been. So it is early morning here in Alberta. Well, 11:30. So not everyone is home and able to catch their Facebook lives. A lot of people are working, so or working outside the home. So these morning chats are not always as filled rooms. They're not filled rooms, but here we are. Good morning, Raina and Felicia. Hello. Felicia, you're going to get you need a reward for always being first in here. So, hello, everyone. Just letting the room fill up. If you're wondering what I'm doing, why I'm not talking very much, or why I'm just kind of looking around, that's where I've been. First, I want to give a little apology for why you have not seen me over Christmas at all. Um, the reason why you haven't seen me is because I have not been able to get connected to my Be Live. So my broadcasting system, I've been having nothing but problems with, and not Be Live's fault. It's not the broadcasting's fault. It is the being able to access my YouTube channel. So I have not been able to access getting into my YouTube channel to get in here. And Lisa Star Francis gave me a suggestion last night as I was cursing and swearing, and she said, did you do the match? Did you do the one word that you didn't do yet? And I'm like, no. And the word is thank you. And that's a Ho'oponopono thing that we do. And so to clear the energy is to say thank you. So I put thank you on the computer. I walked away. I got a tea, and I came back this morning, and with a few little adjustments that I had to make, then I finally was able to get in. So that's why I have not been on any of my lives, because it's too hard to do it on my phone because I can't see the little words. But here we are. I can see the room is filled up a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about the energy. I'm in the back seat of my sister's car on the way to Dad's house. My niece is with us. Well, hello, Raina, to everyone who's in the car as you are driving this morning. I am here preparing and getting ready for our online summit. If you have not got your tickets yet to the online summit coming up this weekend, I suggest you get them. The presenters, you can see all the presenters on the page and on the website, and we have some amazing, powerful speakers speaking at the summit. We are talking everything from woo-woo to mental health to mental wellness. Sorry, to mental wellness um, to the magic of words uh, to oracle work to angels, mystics. We have everything from mainstream to woo-woo happening on this at the summit. So if you have not got your tickets, there is 12 presenters. I am going to be speaking 3 times. So that means there will be 14 conversations that will be happening. So there is 14 talks. And then also at the end of the day, at the end of Saturday, there is an add-on. So if you're on my website and you purchase the full weekend, a pass, that does not include the Saturday night. The Saturday night is a whole separate event, and I will be doing a 2-hour live mediumship. And so that 2-hour live mediumship is happening on Saturday evening, the 7th. And tickets for that is at the bottom. When you scroll down past all the presenters, it is considered to be an add-on. So you can purchase that individually. You can purchase the weekend pass and then that, or you can just come to the evening or just to the day. Totally up to you. So if you have not got your tickets and you really want to attend, get your tickets, and they are a really, really reasonable price. It's like $29.95 Canadian. So a really reasonable price. And you're with us online Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. So there's a lot happening. Happy New Year to everyone. Hello, everyone who's joining. Hello, Kevin and Carmela. Are you two together? Beth, Don Lynn. Hello, Raquel, Tracy. Hello, Jennifer. Dora. Hello, Adriana. Hello. I think I've said hello to everyone else. Joanne, hello. And Tammy, hello. And Happy New Year to each and every one of you. So, like I said, I have not been on over Christmas because I did post some videos, and if you have not seen your forecast reading, there is all the forecast reading for each zodiac sign is on my YouTube channel. Go check them out, share them to your Facebook page, do whatever you want. They're in one playlist. It's all in there, plus the yearly predictions are also in one playlist on my YouTube channel. Go check it out, and you can see which one is for your sign. Sometimes check out your moon sign or your ascending as well. Whichever one seems to resonate with you. And so they are all available. The energy. So where we are. So if you're anything like me, I don't set New Year's resolutions ever. I'm on this is January the 4th, I believe, or 3rd. So today on January the 3rd, I'm finally getting myself in a position where I'm even considering what today means to me, what 2023 means to me. I don't go watching from the break room. Well, Natasha, hello to everyone at work today. Hello, Wendy. Oh, he's 23 kilometers away. Okay. And so 2023, I don't make these resolutions. I don't set anything in hard stone. I am a continual evolution of the hard efforts and work that I have put in from 2022, that I tweak, I make shifts, I make changes. So during the New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, why you don't see me making a lot of posts or a lot of videos, being this big inspiration of get on this, start this. I don't instill this sense of push your, kind of using our old responses to get us to respond to, or to get us to take action. So not to use the fear, insecurities, not to let the fight or flight response step in of, oh my God, it's a new year. Oh, I got to start this. This is what I'm going to do for myself. That sets us up for punishment, for self-punishment, and it restricts us and it limits us. And so I allow myself to really sit with the energy. I sit with my own energy. And the first 2 days, I'm going to tell you, were not pretty. And yesterday I decided I would clean house. Like literally, I was trying to get into live. I couldn't get in. And so I decided I would clean house, and I would take down the tree. I would clean my home. I would rearrange some things, and I cared for my plants. So I took time with living things, and then I went outside for a little bit, but I moved around the plants. I watered them. I picked off the dead leaves. I did all of those things. And while I was doing the ordinary things, extraordinary thoughts, extraordinary messages started to come to me, and in inspiration. And so I felt this sense of inspiration starting to come to me. And some of the greatest inspiration that comes is not in trying to get yourself in this regimented old mindset, old ways of thinking to get us to move forward, because it runs out of steam often. And I don't want to run out of steam in 2023. Is the efforts and the works that have gone in. Who do I need to be today? Who do I need to be today to make a decision, to make a choice? So you may be seeing a lot of programs coming up, a lot of, do now, a 5-day, a 10-day, follow me, do this, do that. And I don't post any of that on New Year's or around that time, because then it's that people feel the pressure. And when you are feeling the pressure, you feel this sense of stress, and you don't even know what it is. And you respond before you know it. You got yourself signed up to way too many things. You have way too much happening. You got way too much on the go. And then it's, what can you achieve? What can you achieve when you overload yourself? When you make yourself, when you've already punished yourself, or you told yourself that now I have to do this. The moment we have to do this and we have an unhealed self, I coin it in my book, the bad child syndrome, right? That sense of resistance. So those have tos that then get met with resistance, gets met with excuses, gets met with exhaustion, because first you got to fill your tank. And when you fill your tank and you fill up with the sense of what inspires me, who do I need to be to even achieve those things? And if I'm not yet even the person that I need to be to achieve them, if I'm still complaining, if I'm still comparing myself, if I still have envy that's running the show, if I'm still resentful, if I'm still filled with hurt that I have not released, then first of all, let's start our year with learning the power and how-tos of releasing, surrendering, and letting go before we add more duties and obligations onto what we've already done. So it's about, what did you achieve last year? What did, when you sit down and you really look at yourself living in your last year, when you look in and see yourself experiencing last year, when you look at what you've done and be grateful and show gratitude for yourself for the wins that you got, that you made happen last year. Let's start with that. Cindy, totally get the resistance that shows up as stacking all the things to do. Yes, exactly, right? So it's like the moment the list becomes so big and it becomes so much, you're right back where you started. Because the problem with most of what we do and most of our journey is we keep looping, right? And so how do we let go of the karma? How do we set ourselves free? How do we free our soul? Came in this lifetime to end and let go of the old contracts. So one of mine that I wrote this morning after much time with my plants, with my home, uh, with spending time with my grandchildren, with finishing up some more paintings, was trust. My big thing this year is to fully trust my feminine, to trust who I am, to not to restrict my feminine. And that means to not to limit, deny, because that somehow is in the subconscious programmed part of me that was a hard piece for me to release and to let go of, is to be able to, I can trust myself for everyone else in the presence of what I do, but when I'm with me, and that was a big message for myself. So, when we look at our old programmings, when we look at how we've been programmed, and instantly, soon as we get close to, Christmas or New Year's, it's buy, 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 shop, 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 get. Have you got this yet? The moment we get close to New Year's, then it's, the thought of, here's the end of a year, a new year starting. It's just another day. And the fact that we get to have that other day is extraordinary. The fact that we make it to the next day is one of the biggest blessings that we can have. So honoring that experience and just allowing yourself to honor the moment and to be present in that moment without getting caught up in that old programming of, here's your new year. Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with it? If the old you and all of who you were the day before, without all the rest, without recognizing how much you have done within yourself, if the old you is going to walk into your tomorrow, that day, the next day, 3 months from now, will look just like everything of the past, because you'll keep looping and you will not be able to, you will not have completed the full 360 loop, because the last quarter mile is the hardest. And so, what is the last quarter miles of everything for myself that I need to do? It is to be grateful. To be grateful for the you that has gotten you to right here today. Start with that. That's one of the best key things that you can start with. It is such a, and then pick out the nuggets of that aspect of yourself. And then look at the areas of your life where you may have, not invested into you the way that you've even told yourself you have, and or the way that you had intended to. So if your intention was to invest emotionally and spiritually into you, what have you done, and where did you fall short? Not what you have, not what you have failed in. Where did you fall short in keeping you in your in your cup of importance. And in that cup of importance, where do if you're going to put yourself back in here, what needs to come out? What needs to be put out of there? What needs to be removed from there? So, what is the most important? But who do I need to be? And what do I need to start to see within myself? And because who quits on us? Who's the first person that we quit on? Who's the first person that we deny access to the best qualities of ourselves? It's usually us, right? It's our personal life. We'll give our all to a work, we'll give our all to everyone else, but we forget that the good portion of your day needs to be like somewhere in your day, there has to be a portion of your day that is dedicated to you, to the investment into your emotional and spiritual growth. Because when you grow emotionally and spiritually, you evolve those emotions, you do the healing that you need to do. You acknowledge that you're so much more than the human, and you stop restricting and you stop punishing and you stop placing these restraints that places this pressure up on you, that then, because the stress is the pressures, right? And that then you're responding from the pressure. So the moment you, and that takes us back into that fight or flight, the freeze, the fawn, the please. So if you're pleasing your shadow essence, if you're pleasing the shadow, if you're comparing yourself to what you used to be, if you're envious of the life you used to have, any of those, what you're doing with a sense of resentment or, another emotion that would be there, but it would be a lower vibrating energy. It would be a lower frequency. And those frequencies are not going to be able to serve you moving forward. They don't have the power. They don't have the stamina to be able to keep us going. So and so acknowledging that, working with that, and that's what I'm working with. That's where I am in my truth. And I've moved things around probably 10 times trying to decide, where would I like for that to be? Do I like that? Do I not even want that in my house anymore? Do I want this plant? So yesterday there was 3 house flies still exist in my house. Now my heart is like, oh, I don't want to kill the flies. But then I'm like, why do I need those flies in my house? I don't want those flies in my house. And it was a nice day. So I'm like, go find a new house to get in. So I captured the flies and put them outside. And, it was just symbolic of, what do I want? What do I want inside of here? Because this is your home. This is your house. This is your home. And this is the home that you don't get to leave until, the soul's journey is done. And you only get this home one time. And so, what are you going to do for this home? How are you going to treat this home? How are you going to be with this home? How are you going to, how will you show up and care for this home that is you? And this year is about this year's energy is about being able to dismantle the old but step into the new. Last year was totally a dismantle. It was eye openers, but when we start to dismantle, we start to gain new perspectives. When we can look at things in a different light, when we can see ourselves in a different way, when we can see ourselves without the judgment and to see ourselves without putting so much pressure and stress upon ourselves, to look at ourselves and say, oh my God, I got to do this now. There's no other time. There's no other time. Yeah, there is another time. What do I need to do now? First thing you need to do is first look into that reflection and start to see the good in you, to start to see the divine, to start to see that maybe that 20-pound heavier version of you may have gotten you through a lot of really difficult times. So she don't need to be punished more. She don't need to be belittled. She don't need to be, or he, whoever this may be. You don't need that. You need to acknowledge, say, thank you. Thank you for what you have done. Thank you for that. So if you could do that for me to get me through, now help me discover where it is that I fall weak in my own willpower. Where do I lose my power? Where does my power leak out that I lose my will to stay focused on what is the most important to me? Because we're always leaking power. Always. Reina, I did that about 4 years ago. I got caught up in the do now syndrome, right? still have two programs I paid hundreds of dollars for and still haven't used them. Yes, exactly. And that's the whole essence, right? Is that how much do you have that you could go back on that you haven't completed? How much is still left back there that you didn't fully finish? I know I got a huge one. I'm still working on my I'm an NL neurolinguistics programmer. So I work in neurolinguistics programming as a coaching tool, but I was working on my master's. And this year I didn't have enough gas in my tank to complete my master's. And I've been working on it for 2 years. And I keep using the excuse I don't like the sound of the coach's voice. I don't have time. I have to do a lot of free coaching, a lot of work, which means a lot of partnering up with people in the school and meeting them. And I'm like, I've done a lot. I've conquered a lot in my life. Is this master's that important to me? Or is it something that I just took on because I thought I needed another certificate, that I thought I needed to prove myself? And who was I trying to prove myself to? And so I really had to ask myself these questions and get honest with myself. And is that a priority? Even though I already have so many tools and so many levels of so many, certificates and things that I do, why do I need that? And so asking yourself those questions means being honest with yourself. And you can only trust you when you can be honest with yourself. And when you're honest with yourself, you can learn to trust you. You can't trust you if you can't be honest with you. We can convince ourselves of anything. It's amazing what we can convince ourselves of. Just saying. It is easy to convince ourselves of anything that we want to convince ourselves of, right? We can accept any truth. Anything that's happening, we can convince ourselves of. But it is harder to be honest with ourselves. It is harder to step into that place of saying, you know what? That's totally me. I do this. I am that way. But why am I that way? What is the repeat? What is the stem? What is the source of that habit, that behavior? Why do I repeat that pattern? And why do I self sabotage? Or why do I fail? Why do I deny myself? Why do I restrict myself? Like, these languages and words really truly help us to be able to done with compassion. And that's the difference. When you can do it with absolute compassion in your heart and be able to see on a soul level. When I wrote my second book, Beyond the Reflection, that's how that book is written. It's the reflection of my mirror became my soul. And when my mirror became the soul of myself, when I looked into that sense of self so deep that I could see there was a lot of good within, and to find that and to work from that place, self-sabotage and repeating old patterns. Yes, right? And so it's because we look into the reflection of the material world, we look into the reflections of others, and we look into the reflections of previous versions of ourselves. We look into the reflection of our past life, like of anything that's happened yesterday, even. So, yesterday is now gone. Yesterday doesn't. So if you messed up yesterday what you already were going to set an intention to do, well, yesterday is not here. Okay, is anyone else seeing did anyone else see that freaking fly? I have a new fly zipping around. I told you I just put 3 flies outside. There's a fly. And so yesterday, if your reflection is, if you're looking into yesterday to compare your today, then you're reflecting on something that is a non-existent. When your reflection is into the essence of you, this is a deep dive journey. We look in and we say, it's like, okay, being caring about how I treat myself, how can I be kind to myself today? And so being kind to yourself allows you to then also, in return, you'll be much kinder to others, even with your eyes. It's so easy to judge others just by an appearance or just by stepping out and just by being in the world. And when you judge others, it's not always a bad judgment. You start to sometimes judge in a way of comparing. Look at the life they have. The moment you say, I wish I could be like so and so, remember your words are magic wands. I wish I could be. Well, what you're wishing for when you say that is you ultimately are wishing for kind of everything that is happening. What you see is you see one little piece of someone and someone's life. Be careful what you wish for. I truly inspire to be looking into me, the truest version of myself, the truest version of me. And so beyond the reflection, the second book is radical self-acceptance, which means if we are not fully honest with ourselves, with our intentions, what we're capable of, what we can do in the moment, all of those things, is that we can constantly and consistently tell ourselves little white lies, and we lie to ourselves, and we don't even sometimes know it's a lie because we believe the stories that we tell ourselves until we can see a bigger picture. And when you can see a bigger picture, you start to be able to see the half-hearted truths that you have accepted. This is a huge part of this year. And as I'm moved on from that book and we're into editing the third book, they do take so long to get out, and I wish I could get them all to you right now. Over Christmas or before Christmas, I started to write another book. I heard the divine say to me, you're going to write another book. You journal every day, so there's no reason why you cannot write the final book to the series of More Than Existing. In 3 weeks, I sat down every morning. This is commitment. All I heard was, you're going to write the book, you're going to do this, and you will be done on Christmas Day. I never put any thought into it. I didn't think about that I had to get up every day and do it. It's a practice. Journaling and meditation is a morning practice for me. It is my morning, each and every morning, minus the mornings I say have my grandchildren and they get up early, whatever it is. So every morning I didn't get up with the intention to write the book, or that I had to write this book, that it had to be done by Christmas Day, or else it would not have gotten done. I woke up every morning knowing that my morning routine, my morning dedication to me is time with the divine. That's it. My morning dedication is my 90 minutes that yes, I get up really, really early, and I'm up to 90 minutes that I spend with the divine. And in those 90 minutes that I spent with the divine, I wrote a new book by hand, with these hands that can barely hold a pen, but they can scribble out stuff. We don't know how we're ever going to get this into the computer because we might never be able to read it. But on Christmas Day, on Christmas Eve, actually, I'm like, oh my God, I looked at the books, at the 2 journals, and I'm like, I'm done writing. And then Christmas morning, I woke up and I went right back into my practice and I wrote a prayer. And I knew the prayer belonged at the end of the book. And I'm like, and then it was like the book was complete. I didn't think about I was going to write another book. It was no intention of when this book would come out, what this book was going to be about. I just did what was asked. And I trusted that. And I trusted that so much, with so much conviction in being able to just sit with the divine, that is what unfolded. And that is one of the key elements to learning the power of more than just existing. Because the moment you put the pressure on yourself, the moment you are now returning to just existing, you are in the suffering, you're in the restrictions, you're in telling yourself what you absolutely have to do, what you have to be, and you become so obligated to something that needs to be done. But if it is just the essence of learning to reflect into the soul, to live by the soul's call, everything will flow and everything comes out and everything happens as it should. Divine timing. And so now there is another book, which you guys won't see for probably, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years. I don't know. All I know is I get asked to write the books, and that's it. And I write the books. I don't have a plan. I don't know when they come out. I don't put pressure upon myself to do them. I allow it to unfold. And so that's my message for you moving into 2023 is, can you truly learn to trust the you that you are yet to meet? And the you that you are about to meet is not the one that is pushing, not the one that's already placing these pressures and expectations upon yourself. That's the shadow. That's the programming. That's the condition. You have already responded to the world outside of you. You've already looked into that reflection of the world outside of you. And the moment that becomes your reflection throughout the year, you will be chasing something that is not really truly you. And it doesn't mean we don't have goals. It don't mean that a resolution will fail, that all resolutions will fail. Some people, are pretty, on that journey of knowing exactly who they are. But who's the resolution? Who's the resolution for? Who is that for? And whose dream are you living in? Whose dream are you living in? Right? And so there's just so much to be discovered within you. You, right here, right now, if you could see that you are enough, who you are is enough. You can grow on that. You can even renovate. You can even do some, resurrections of pieces of yourself that you may have forgotten. But when you become aware of the value of you and that the blessing that stepped into your day is you today, that you have that's when you start to become aware of you. And this is the card. You just can't make this shit up. I'm telling you. And becoming so, not being negotiable, not, setting non-negotiables to, this is just who I am today. This is where I am today. And so there's some days are crappy, and some days you have to really truly learn the power of letting yourself feel your feelings, feel your emotions, because we've spent a lifetime having to numb, suppress, oppress what we feel inside. And now it's being able to acknowledge those feelings, to let yourself know that it is okay. So our card that comes out is the awareness of truth. Her name is Corina, and she may look very familiar to you because, yes, she is me. I didn't create her. Or no, I've created her. I've created this one. This one was painted by the artist as a Christmas gift to me last year. I still haven't made her into a portrait and put her in my house. I've got other cards that are portraits from this deck, but not this one. And this one, this one wasn't intended for the oracle cards, but we decided to include it in the oracle cards. And so she is a crone energy card. She's in the crone energy. And it's the awareness that there is no better person to be than the person you are today, because it's the person you are today that can give you the best inspiration to be able to inspire you for what you need tomorrow. But you have to let yourself feel you. You have to allow yourself the opportunity to sit with you. If you're on the run, if you're caught up in all the distractions, if you're so busy, already in what tomorrow has to be, then you're not going to be able to ever be in a relationship with you. The most powerful relationship, the longest lasting relationship, the one you cannot escape, is the relationship with you. And that is the relationship that you have to truly build up this year, is to get to know you. And so the awareness of truth, Corina, if you can be anybody today, be you. And then start trying to discover, what is the best of me that I have allowed to slip away, that I have neglected, that I have denied, that I have restricted. All of those parts of ourselves are so important. So that's the energy. That's where we are. And I will validate this with one more card. And when we can do this from the crone energy, think of the grandmother that just wraps her arms, her blanket, gives you that warm cup of hot chocolate or tea, that just, it's like if somebody else said, oh, you can't eat that. Don't you dare eat that. But the grandmother just says, sit down and eat that. Who cares? Well, there is some truth. Now now I'm not saying go eat whatever you want. It's like, but is this serving my highest good? Does it make me feel good about myself? Because other times when we look at things, so just say for example, when we look at things such as food, it's not always that people use food as it's food as an addiction, but not that we use food to punish ourselves. Food can also be used to soothe self. So, to that sense of nurturing, what do I really need to do to nurture myself, right? In the book Wine and Chips that we're working on getting out to you, I always say chips were my crunch. It was how I'd crunch down on the angers, the frustrations, the things that I could never say. Because if I said them, I'd have that fear that people would fall away or that I'd lose the people that were in my life. But I had lost me holding on to people in my life who didn't deserve to sit at my table. And the moment that I start to recognize that was the moment I'm like, I don't have to say anything to them. I have to say some really powerful, kind things to myself. And I have to be honest with myself and to start to nurture myself and what I need, because sometimes that sense of anger and frustration and the things that you think you need to say, you are saying them, but you're saying them to you. You're reflecting into you. That sense of you're causing yourself that. So our divine timing is sisterhood. This is the card. When we start to live by divine timing instead of the clock that has caused us even, the pressures, is all unfolds in divine timing. Like I said with the book. Now, the other thing that happened when that book finished, few days before that, or a few weeks before that, before I finished that, I also started a painting. And that painting was finished the exact same day. Now, I thought that painting was a painting of shadows. Like, I really thought it was a painting of this shadow work, the unhealed self, and underneath it all was the shadow. Well, there's the painting right there. That's what came. So when all was said and done, on the day of the divine timing, when the painting revealed itself, when the painting was complete, the image of what showed up was nothing of the image that was in the beginning of the painting. And there was no rush for that painting. There was nothing. That's my emotions. That's the essence of channeling through the art of asking the divine, what do I need to know? What do I need more than anything today? What's going to fill my soul moving forward? To be whole. To be whole means to treat yourself as holy, to treat yourself as if you are holy, as if you would walk on holy ground, as if you'd walk into someone who you absolutely loved, into their homes, and you would honor their home, you would honor that. So learning to honor that within yourself, to be that within your life. And so divine sisterhood is that, our shadows are always going to make an appearance. Our shadow is not our enemy. The mind's ability to create the thoughts and the stories, the enemy. The shadow essence of ourselves is what we became because we created stories to protect ourselves, to hide ourselves, to live in the essence of what we thought we had to be, to wear the mask, to wear the protection. And our identity is created from the ego's desire, from the ego's objective view of life, right? We create that. So if you can be a creator of anything today, be a creator of love within yourself, to look within yourself, to be present with you, to be kind to you, and to know that you don't let yourself get caught in the trap of feeling like you have to jump onto every single bandwagon to fix everything. Be honest, be authentic, and be true to you, because when you start to be honest with yourself, with love and compassion, without that sense of judgment, magic really does happen. It really, really does. So that's the message. And I guess I really wasn't meant to get in before here now. YouTube wasn't connecting for a reason to be live. I was meant to be wherever I needed to be, and that was in my own presence. And so some of my most amazing moments, I always say, and messages that come through on these lives, I'm hearing for the first time. So when I hear them come through, because I am channeling, when I hear them channeling through, I'm hearing them for the first time. And I'm absorbing them for the first time. And they're entering into my human for the first time. And then I'm sitting with those messages. And so I'm like, really? Wow, yeah, that makes sense. So so being a channel and being able to channel the divine wisdom, the conscious, the super consciousness beyond our own consciousness, beyond out there. So being able to connect out there and to bring that divine message in is, when we receive it, is sometimes give yourself time to sit with it and allow yourself time to sit in that energy and to just let it absorb within you. And it's just magical how it just starts to unfold. You find yourself doing new things, being, responding to life differently. And yeah, we truly are enough as our true self. Our ordinary is incredible. And if you've seen my post, I did post on New Year's, was actually the frost on the trees. And I was just on the way to visit family, um, my partner's family. And we met in Westlock, and on the way, just an ordinary drive on an ordinary day, everything became extraordinary. And even though I have these extraordinary gifts, I don't have the same awe of this as I do of seeing a ladybug, as seeing the frost on the trees. Those moments excite and ignite something within myself that are so childlike. To get closest to the divine within you, you need to be the innocence of a child, because that divine within you, that truest version of you, trusts the child. And that trust of the childlike energy is what then brings us into spirit and into connecting to our own spirit and connecting to the spirit of self. And so, yeah. And so if you want to know more about all this, you know where to find me. You know where my work is. My work's on my website. You know where my courses are. You know where I have everything. It's all on my website. Everything is there. And I would say, if you're, whoever is meant to be in your presence, whoever is finally ready to invest into themselves, if you step in without the fear of thinking, oh my God, I got to do this now, because the opportunity you think you miss allows space for the opportunity that truly is meant for you. So do that today. Be that today, and be that every day. So now I have to go because I do have to work. I do have clients today. I'm actually going back to some clients today. So anything that, right, nature bonds excites my child self big time. Yeah, me too. Just ignites me. And it's the ordinary. And so this ordinary self of us, this true ordinary self, is really, truly more than enough. Much love. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me. I'm happy to be back. And I don't know when I'll be back in, because we have the summit coming up this coming weekend. And so that starts on Friday night. And I'm just so looking forward to that. So I'm spending a lot of time this week allowing myself to just sit back and just absorb, because I am doing 3 talks during the summit. And I do channel those, so I don't have a prepared speech for you. So there is 3 messages that I will be giving, plus I'll be doing the Saturday night live mediumship on the Saturday evening. So I have a lot coming up this weekend. So I will take a lot of time this week to do nothing, and just be and live in the ordinary world and let extraordinary things unfold. Much love. I will see you soon. If you don't have my books, they're on Amazon. You can go to Amazon, get my books. We will be live in Lacombe, in Leduc. We will be live in Leduc in January the 21st as well. We have a wellness day happening there, and myself and Michelle Gibson will be doing a live mediumship January the 21st, and those tickets are on Eventbrite. So it's all on my Facebook page. You can go into the events and you can see everything there. Much love. Have a beautiful day. Talk soon. Bye-bye.